Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Matt from MTG Gaming Bob, and today I've got a bit of an interesting video. I've been keeping track of these prices for the sealed product for Double Masters. Double Masters, when it first was released, was like I think the actual standard boxes, the draft boxes were like $200 MSRP or so, 220 somewhere around there. And then the collectors were like around the $200 mark as well. And they spiked crazily. Like if you go and actually look at the history, obviously these got these massive spikes from I'm guessing it's FOMO due to like how I guess the supply being so low. People were like freaked out and they thought that they'd have to like, I don't know, go crazy and buy a bunch of product. I didn't think that was the case, but obviously people thought that, or else it wouldn't have been spiked that much. But one thing I have noticed, so there's this large spike and then it started to go down. And if you look at, first of all, you can actually check the sales. If I don't know if people, not a lot of people know about this, but you can actually view sales history to see how many are being sold and at what price. You can actually do some filters and whatnot. But if you look, I mean, there's like quite a lot selling. Actually, a lot of singular boxes, not a ton of like huge buy orders that I've seen. Max I've seen is like 2. People are just kind of buying a couple. But one thing I have noticed though, this is interesting. Remember I was telling you about the stores not getting a ton. Most stores were getting on average, like, from what I understand, draft boxes, they were only going to get like 20 to 30, maybe a little bit more from what I was told. But this person, the gaming company, they have a ton of sales, so it's possible that they have like a big supply. Look at how many they have, 216. What are I mean, they've had this supply, the same supply, and things have been selling, and if they're selling for the same price, 33781, which is what this guy's had is listed at, and he's the only one at 33781 at the moment. I mean, obviously this can change over the course of the day, but he seems to be almost always the cheapest one and almost always has hundreds of products. I've seen his supply go down to like in the 20s and then shoot back up to hundreds. So what I think is happening, I feel like the prices are being artificially controlled by this gaming company guy. Whether that's true or not, I don't actually know. But the odds of him having this much supply is pretty low. The gaming company could be somebody, I don't know. They could have that much supply. I just don't know. I don't know who owns it. If it's like a single seller, or it could be like Channel Fireball. They have like a TCG thing to like offload product through or whatever. It could be some shady shit. I don't know. All I know is that this person seems to always have hundreds of boxes always available all the time, no matter how many he sells. So my guess is this is all going to be canceled. If I had to take a guess, I don't know if the collector's boxes are in the same spot. Let's see. They're also dipping, by the way. Like I said, would happen. Yeah, the gaming company 469. Now, from what I've gathered as far as information's been told, there are more collector's boxes. I guess stores are getting more collector's boxes than draft, which is a bit strange, but that's what the word on the street is. So 469, that's a lot, man. Nobody has anywhere close to that supply. I mean, not even close. And he's always the cheapest. Gaming company, 416, and he's always like, he's matching or he just drives the prices down. This could be a White Knight that's like trying to drive prices down for people. I mean, this guy's got 95, but nobody has hundreds, you know? It's just strange for one that he has like this quantity of numbers selected. Now, I will say, if he does have all these cancellations, I mean, he's got a lot of sales, over 50,000 sales. The odds of it being somebody trying to like screw the system over, it'd be for us. It'd be for a good thing. Drive the prices down, and everybody else that sells for those prices, hopefully they get their boxes, and then the people that pre-order through him won't. I personally would not pre-order through him. I would just stay away. I mean, he is the cheapest, but like obviously you could go to the next person down that's the same, well, 1 penny. No, it's the same price. I don't know, he's lower, but either way, the same price, or pay a couple pennies more, and he'll have a much higher chance of getting a product. I truthfully, he does have billions of sales. I mean, 50,000 sales is pretty high. I mean, it's the largest I see out of most of these. Well, I guess these are all the same, 50,000, 50,000. Either way, what I'm trying to say is, it seems sketch that he would have this much product always, and he sells them all the time, from what I can tell, just by looking at the sales history. And then I also wanted to go over, so currently, if you notice, the average price of draft boxes are $355, but on TCG they're $335. The prices are trending down. As we were looking at here, this chart, boom, it's It spiked up and it's slowly trending back down. As we get closer and closer to the release, I believe they will continue to trend down for like the first week or two. Like I mentioned in the previous video when I did the review of the unboxing. So if you guys are just curious, this is just a standard TCG website. There's no, I'm not even signed in. Anybody can view this information. And then this other website here I pulled up, this is MTG Stocks, another cool website you guys can use to kind of keep track of like the prices of cards, the booster box. It even does sealed product. So for instance, if we wanted to look at the sealed booster box of how they've transitioned over the course of like, let's say the last, I don't know, looks like the last, we'll go last week or so, 2 weeks. You can see it's slowly trending down, but not that much. It's kind of, you know, leveled off, but it is slowly dipping. And then same is the same for the collector's boxes. They're also doing the same thing. Standard display, they're all just kind of slowly trending downwards, which is, you know, what it's kind of expected at this point. One thing I have noticed though is look at the, first of all, Imperial Seal. A lot of people they're up, from what the videos that I've watched, they're opening more Imperial Seals than we thought. The one guy in one case, he opened 4, which is, that might be really, really lucky, or they might just be the few cases, or the few boxes that I watched, they got none. They might have just been unlucky, because the one guy pulled like a full art normal, he pulled a normal, a foil etched, and he pulled a foil borderless. So like, and that's all in one case. So that, obviously that's huge money, but these are going down more than the sealed. The sealed is staying of more value over the course of time. I think that obviously, like every other time, sealed just, you know, sealed just always outperforms when you open them. You just don't open them, unfortunately. It sucks because it's like, I love opening packs of cards, but the advice I'd give is to buy this stuff whenever it gets down to the lowest. Watch these prices like a hawk. These can change at any minute, honestly. I've seen, I mean, obviously, as fast as this dip was, this was like within a day or two. So that fast of a dip is like where you have to pay attention. It's like a stock. It's ridiculous. These prices can be bought out real quick. Unless you have supply like the one guy. It's very difficult to buy out supply and jack prices up when you have one guy at 500 supply. I think that's what he's doing. I think the idea is that he might not have 469 of them, but he might have like, we'll say 100 or 200. And the odds of somebody buying that many to buy him out is so low that he can list them at this price, at this high, and like keep people from jacking the prices up, and they'll slowly go down. I think that's what he's doing. As a store, you always want to make money, but like maybe it's a nice guy. Maybe he's the Robin Hood that we all need to kind of lower these prices a bit for sealed product. Another one, Cavernous Souls. It looks like Cavernous Souls is also dipping pretty heavily. I didn't really see that many caverns opened, but does look to be dipping down at quite a significant slope, which if this continues, which I don't think it will, this card never seems to go below 50 bucks, so it's pretty safe that it's going to stay above 50 bucks. And then like cards like the foil Renin 7 or Renin 6 and the Oxide Extortionist, these are all like pretty high priced. We just sort by foil. I've already seen, okay, so Kozilek 379, he was at 600. So I'm already right that he's almost cut in half. I truthfully think he's going to go even lower. I've seen 2 of these pulled in a couple videos that I've watched, and it was kind of like, okay, he seems to be the most common of them as far as the small sample size that I have. But 379, I could see this going down to 300, and then that would be probably, that's a decent, it's a big premium, but it's decent enough to where, like, you know, it's fair, I guess, for a very limited edition card. I can't imagine there's going to be a ton of these out there. So, yeah, 300 is probably fair, maybe 200. It'll be like a 4 times to 6 time multiplier on the actual card, what it used to be. Apparently, Kozilek used to be around 50 until it got reprinted. So now it's more looking like, let's see, can we actually pull up what was the actual cost prior to the announcement? The announcement, it was in, let's see here, Modern Masters, it was 60 bucks on average, 60. So it's like 70 bucks. So 4 times multiplier for a super premium card, I can see that being fine. Yeah, so I think the prices are leveling out, which is nice. And I think that, especially with the Imperial Seal, I foresee Imperial Seal being under, if I had to take a guess, the standard price for Imperial Seal. Right now it's 263. Do I see it going under 100? I don't think it's that common. I don't think so. I would say for sure under 200. That would be my guess. My guess is it probably floats around 150 to 200. It is a fairly rare card, and I think it gets played. I actually don't know. I don't really play the older formats. I play Commander mainly. That's about it. So I mean, why would you play Imperial Seal when there's so many other better tutors? Especially because you put it on top of your library. It's a sorcery speed. Pretty bad actually. But I think it's just because it's a scarcity thing. It's so cheap. It was so expensive prior to this because it was never printed. So this actually could plummet under $100. It'd be interesting. I mean, once people actually start opening a product, I mean, you know what? If it's already dipped down to 263 on average, 229, and that's already half of what it was pre-ordering for. I think it was at 499 at one point. I could actually easily see this going under $100 once people actually get the product in hand, start drafting it, start opening product for themselves. I could see this being a pretty significant downturn in value. I could see this being going down quite heavily. But, I guess we'll see. It really depends on how short the supply is. I actually foresee once this comes out, which is the 8th, so it's tomorrow, I think that once this hits, we'll actually have an idea of how many people get canceled. I think it's going to be pretty rough. I think we're going to see a ton of cancellations. I would imagine more than half of people are going to get their orders canceled because of, one, they either got in super, super cheap and the store feels like they're going to lose money, so they'd rather sell it at current market value than, lose out on all that potential profit. Or two, there is a decent enough supply to where the prices are driven down because enough people get in their hands that actually want to buy it. It is a premium product, so I can't imagine like a ton of people are buying them. But I do think that it is going to be very interesting, and within the next week, we're going to know really how the supply is. If you see this start to plummet even more, I mean, I feel like it might get down, and it can do one of two things, obviously. It could, well, I guess it's one of three things. It could stay the same, and this could be like the standard price. It could level out right around the 260, 250 marker, which would be pretty good, actually. The pulls can be pretty insane. The second thing that could happen is that it plummets in price and it goes down to that 220, 230. But a lot of the boxes that I've seen opened, I mean, if the cards stay the same, if they don't plummet, then they should be fine, and you'll actually make money opening boxes. And I don't think that one of the things has to break. It's either the cards are going to plummet in value or the boxes are going to plummet in value. The odds of both happening is, I guess, potentially possible, but I don't think so. And the third thing that could happen is that once it releases, we actually find out that how many people actually do get their orders. It could be even more people get canceled, and there's not enough product at all to fulfill these orders, and you can't get a hold of it. And it's just so rare that the prices have to go up in price. The boxes have to go up in price in order to really compensate for the lack of supply. Supply and demand, pretty standard there. So it'll be interesting. The next week or so, I want to do another follow-up on these prices. Right now is the day where it's going to make or break what these prices will do. Tomorrow will be the day. So I wanted to do a video just before it, and then I want to do another video at the end of the next week. So we'll say next Friday, I'll probably do another follow-up and see what happened. And I'm very interested. If I had to take a guess, my guess is the boxes flatten out right around the price where they're at now, and the cards probably will dip down another 20%, maybe 30%. But I think that the supply will keep the prices up on the boxes, but I do think that people are going to want to open it, so that's going to drive the card prices down. And it's going to be more of a lottery system on whether or not you got a good box or not. Because I do think that over the course of opening enough boxes, you'll make money. There's just so many cards that have potential value. You really need to hit one of these bigger cards. Like one Imperial Seal pays for the entire box. So you hit that one time, you kind of like are on free street. Like everything else is just pure profit. So that really helps that next box that even if it's not that good, it still kind of makes up for that, with the other cards it has. Like the odds of you pulling nothing is pretty low. There's a lot of good value cards. Now, there was a spreadsheet, I probably should have grabbed it. There was a spreadsheet that showed like the potential EV of it. Jake and Joel or Magic did a stream. They had that on there. I don't want to, go over the same stuff they did, but check out their most recent stream. I hope they did a clip of it because it was actually pretty good. It was in one of their larger live streams of the review of the set. But basically, it had like a potential EV, estimated values of the rares and mythics. I think the rares were around $7 at the time, and then the mythics were like 32. Obviously, those prices have went down for sure. No, guaranteed, because most of the cards have went down like at least 30% at this point. So it's interesting, very interesting to see. So I'm excited to see what happens. I do think that if these prices dip more, if they hit around that 240, 230 mark, I'll probably buy a case just to sit on as sealed product, because sealed, just if you look at any sealed, you use this website MTG Stocks, you go to the sealed, you can see on, I don't know, I'll just randomly click this one. I don't know, New Capenna. It's still going up. It's still going up. Like it's slowly going up, but it's probably too recent. We'll go down. We'll go to that's not a good one. We'll go to, sure. We'll see Draft Box of Forgotten Realm. Ooh, little uptick there. Look at that. Look at that. This is a set that people said was poo-poo, is bad, is crap. But look at this. Hold on. Let's evaluate what's happening. Look at that. So it's been floating around that 109.97 around there, and then little uptick, the gain of $5. I mean, 5% in a week. If you had a stock go up 5%, you're pretty happy. If a shitty box that nobody wants, they say that nobody wants. I thought it was a fine set. I'm sorry. I like Adventures of the Forgotten Realm. I thought it was cool. It wasn't a home run, but like still pretty good set. It made me happy. But anyways, yeah, I think that unfortunately sealed product is just kind of one of those things where you can't lose. So very interesting to see. I mean, let's see. How does Innistrad looking? Is lost 6.5%. So not the greatest. I mean, there are going to be losers. Just don't pick this one. I mean, obviously, 79 is... well, you know what? Maybe... I'm on the opposite side of the fence here. I see this as a value. I see there's almost no way this won't go up in value over the course of 2-3 years. Almost impossible. It can't really lose unless Magic dies. You know, like it's already below MSRP. The supply is going to dry up, and it's just going to go up in value. Something's going to, some card's going to come out, and it's going to make something from Crimson Vow sick and broken, and that card's going to skyrocket. Like, actually, for instance, I think what happened in what was it? I think it was Adventure of the Forgotten Realm, the Old Gnawbone, right? Old Gnawbone is like, where to go? Old Gnawbone, is there a way to like look at, oh, not in sealed. But Old Gnawbone went to like $40 or something like that. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. This is from Adventures of the... Oh, no, this is Midnight Hunt? No, it's Adventures of the Forgotten Realm. Anyways, yeah, Adventures of the Forgotten Realm. This card is one of the reasons why it, like, doubled in price. And this card is really good. Not an amazing, but it's, you know, it's a dragon. Maybe because of all the new dragons that came out. But that's what I'm saying. Something can come out and make cards from an old set that the boxes they're saying is poo-poo, and they could be like, yo, these boxes are sick now. And at $79, you can't really lose. Not financial advice, but like something to look into. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. I want to follow up on this next week. I've got a build tech coming up. I've got my commander for my Jake and Joel are Magic's. Well, this is it's really trying to. Oh, it's because it's blue. It's Volo, the itinerant scholar. So that's my commander for the Jake and Joel are Magic's league that they've got going on this month. It was randomly drawn from the Baldur's Gate commanders, and that's the one I got. I was like actually pretty disappointed that I got that commander, but as I play tested it today, the deck is super fun to build, and it's actually super fun to play. There's a lot of decision making, like of what creatures go in there based on their creature type, and what they can do for the deck and how they combo. It's actually, the value is so good. So I'm very excited actually to play. I for $100 is all the budget it has. I beat all of my friends' decks earlier today and did really, really well the previous 2 games, but the last one I actually won with 4 other players in the match, and they were all playing their standard like $1,000, $2,000 decks. So the fact that a $100 budget deck can do that, that's pretty cool. And it wasn't one of those things where like I was left alone because I wasn't doing anything for a bunch of turns. I was constantly getting value, like tapping Volo and drawing like 5 to 10 cards every turn, sometimes multiple times a turn. People see that, they just couldn't do anything about it because just, you know, protection and whatnot and blue-green, and, you know, it's pretty awesome. Anyways, that's for the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll talk to you next time.